Hey everyone, and thank you for joining me for Sketchbook Sunday, episode 52. I'm working in my moleskine sketchbook and I'm trying to continue to get better with gouache. I am super new to this medium and I'm not awesome at it. And in this video, for the first time ever in gouache, I'm attempting to paint a face. And this was incredibly frustrating because I couldn't blend things like I do with oil, and it just looked like a hot mess and continued to look like a hot mess throughout the entire duration of this video. So please don't judge me too hard. I'm still learning how to work this medium and this was a struggle. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. This is my sketchbook series where I take a more laid-back approach to art and don't take myself too seriously. I don't aim to make the work perfect. I just sort of play around with different ideas and images while chatting with you about all kinds of art-related topics. If you'd like to see much better, far more meticulous, detailed work from me, please check out some of my oil painting time lapses. I promise you those videos are way cooler. I also want to give a huge thank you to Andrew Tischler for having me on his channel recently for his podcast, The Creative Endeavor. The link will be in the description, so be sure to head on over there and check out our conversation about painting and the art business. His work is incredible. He has some amazing and insightful oil painting tutorials. His plein air videos in particular have been a massive help for me as I'm pretty new to plein air and I have so much to learn, so be sure to send him some kind words and check out the podcast. Speaking of the art business, today I wanted to talk about some of the judgment I've received for choosing a career in art, or in particular when I meet people and they learn about what I do for a living. I've already told you guys when I was considering doing this a long time ago, I didn't really get much support from the people close to me, or anyone really. Like, the vast majority of people thought I was doomed for failure and doomed to starve and be broke my entire life, and that's kind of like the last thing a parent wants to hear, is that their child wants to pursue a career in painting. Like, oh cool, do you want to also pursue a career in fairy unicorn tea parties while you're at it? Because that's just as realistic in their eyes anyway. I could get more in depth about this, but I've already done a really extensive video about my journey to becoming a full-time artist, so you can go ahead and watch that if you'd like the full story. But let's just skip over all those details and let's just get to right now, the point now where I've been a self-employed artist for over 6 years. A lot of times the response can be positive from people if they know that I have something to show for it, but when I meet new people who aren't super familiar with the art world, with YouTube or social media marketing, they have some ideas about my life and my work and what I do. A lot of the time it's met with confusion or genuine intrigue, but I will say a lot of times I can tell that they kind of look down on me a little bit at first. So, first of all, a lot of people that I meet together with my husband for the first time, they don't know anything about either of us. Like, most of the time when the conversation goes to what we do for a living, and of course the word artist comes up for me, they just kind of assume that it's not like a serious career. It's very common for them to almost like condescendingly ask me, oh, do you like actually make any money doing that? Or they assume that my husband just takes care of me, like assuming I just sit around at home playing and relaxing while my husband goes out and works and pays for everything, and I'm just this little princess sitting at home making cute little paintings. Aww. In reality, I've been taking care of myself, paying all my bills, had my own apartment long before he came into the picture, long before we met, and I continue to financially take care of myself to this day. I don't want my husband to just pay for my entire existence. That's not the relationship I want to be in, personally. That's my personal preference. So we both pay mortgage, we both pay bills. He's not my sugar daddy, and I carry my own weight. So I always kind of dread having to explain to people how my art career works, because I know what they're already thinking in their minds, and I have to go against that. They've already assumed that I'm a failure, and because I hate talking myself up, usually my husband chimes in and does that for me and clarifies things for them. But some people have even gone as far as to straight up ask me exactly how much money I make. And it's like, why? Like, would you ask anyone else this question? Someone you just met? Hey, so how much money do you make? Like, I just find that odd, and I would not ask someone that, but okay. It's always interesting how quickly their demeanor towards me changes and like how they acknowledge me overall once they find out how many followers I have or some of the projects I got to work on, and basically all of these really superficial things that I wish didn't make such a difference, but sadly they do. And I don't ever just bring up these things on my own to brag about it or throw in someone's face. Like, I only ever mention it if somebody asks. And it really wasn't until I had anything to show for it that people respected me as a business person, as someone who knows what they're doing, as someone who will accomplish their goals. People just assume you're a failure before you even try. And we don't see this kind of attitude towards people who are in school for medicine or law or education. So that's definitely one of the downsides to being a self-employed artist or pursuing a career in painting and art, is that there probably won't be too much encouragement along the way. And even to this day that I've been doing it full time for 6 years, people are just kind of shocked to find out that I'm not broke and starving, that I can pay bills doing this, and that I'm actually serious and dedicated. And again, I'm referring mostly to people who I meet in person, who aren't familiar with social media marketing, who aren't super into art, nor are they regularly exposed to that kind of content, so they tend to believe all kinds of misconceptions about people who make art for a living and art careers in general. And sometimes it can be a fun conversation to kind of enlighten them on this new paradigm we're in with the internet and how it's affected the art world, how it's opened the door for so many artists. And I try to keep it positive and not get pissed off at people who just want to brush me off right away or don't take me seriously because I don't fit the mold that they've sort of been raised to believe is a successful person. And it's not their fault for believing that. They were taught that their whole lives. But a lot of times it tends to turn around for the better, and they find it really interesting and, shocker, worthy of respect. So I don't know, you just gotta prove people wrong, I guess. That's kind of been this whole journey. I will say though, younger people and people closer to my age tend to respond a lot better, and they aren't as ready to assume that I'm just a degenerate loser, because they are usually a bit more tech savvy and more aware of how social media can be used as a marketing tool and a way to connect with people, to reach thousands of people. So it's not as crazy of a concept that I can be an artist and make art for a living. So they're usually less confused. But yeah, that was just my little rant about how people in real life respond to what I do. Let me know if you have similar experiences, or if there are any other topics you would like me to talk about on this Sketchbook Sunday series, and I will do my best. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for supporting my art and this channel. I'm wishing you all a beautiful and inspiring day, and I hope to see you in my next video.